Do 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 do. Boom ba do 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 do. Everyone, sorry, just get everything set up. Stuff I can't actually do before I start streaming. Alright, here we are. Hey everyone! Today I'm actually going to do something helpful. I'm actually going to teach you all a little bit on stuff and close this tab and then exit out of that. Today, I'm going to make an actual guide on how to play Mercenary. My absolute favorite character in the whole game. Now I know it says my pick percentage is only 15%, but that's because of some well, some interesting math here. See, it's actually 17%, 17.9, but this is considering in mods. So, number lowers a little bit, and yes, I have technically played more games as Huntress, but Mercenary is my favorite. And y'all's too, given how many people watched the Why Mercenary is Best video. So, I figured I'd actually give some advice and some lessons on how to play them on Monsoon difficulty, because I don't usually play on Drizzle or Rainstorm. So I guess, first things first, we should go over how Mercenary plays. Mercenary is, of course, a very agile, very fast-paced melee character. Of course, you'd be hard-pressed to find a slow melee character, besides Acrid, but we'll get to him eventually. So part of his skill set is that his main attack with his laser sword exposes enemies on the third hit, and a few other attacks do this as well. What this debuff does is when you then hit an exposed enemy, it reduces the cooldowns on your skills by a second exactly, and deals more damage. Now there are several different abilities that do this. His secondary utility, Focused Assault, does it, and Slicing Winds does it. So basically, if you play him smart and you know how to balance your abilities, you can keep using his skills constantly without worry, which is fantastic. He's basically his own bandolier, but you gotta play him smart. This is not a character you can just jump into and figure him out. Not on Monsoon, anyway. I feel like most other characters, you can play on any difficulty and figure them out fairly easily. Commando, Huntress, maybe not Bandit or Multi-Engineer, Loader. You can figure those guys out on your own. But Mercenary requires a bit more careful play. I'm not going to say skillful because I do really well with them. Therefore, you don't need skill to play him. They'll just go over his abilities first. So, of course, his laser sword, agile. You can use it while sprinting, which is par for the course, really, but is, definitely something you should take advantage of. Especially ever since they added it so that using your utility actually makes you sprint. You're going to be sprinting. So, his secondaries, he has Whirlwind and Rising Thunder. Personally, I use Rising Thunder. Whirlwind is the baseline one. Slices twice, 2 times 200 damage, meaning it's 2 separate hits of 200% damage. If you don't know how damage percentage works in this game, I'll give you a brief explanation. Each survivor has a has a damage value. For instance, Mercenary is 12 at first level, and then it increases by 2.4 damage per level, meaning that each attack deals a percentage of that damage. So, for example, going back to Mercenary, Whirlwind deals 2 separate attacks that deal 200% damage. 200% is double. So at first level, each one of those swings deals 24 damage for a total of 48. May not sound like much, but again, this increases very quickly. But I use Rising Thunder. It's one single upward strike that deals a lot more damage and sends both you and your target, assuming they're a light target, upward. It's fucking great. Mercenary on his own, if you know how to use all of his abilities, has like 5 jumps. He is one of the most mobile characters of the game, second only to Loader, who cheats by having a grappling hook. Either of these work. I wouldn't say any one of them is superior to the other. They're both perfectly fine. It really just comes down to preference. If you get the achievement to unlock Rising Thunder, go right ahead, but you're not losing anything by just keeping Whirlwind. Then you have his utilities, Blinding Assault and Focus Assault. Blinding Assault is infinitely superior. Blinding Assault stuns enemies when you hit them, as you dash forward and deal 300% damage. And if you hit something, you can do it again, 3 times total. So you hit one enemy, you can hit them again a second time, and if they survive, a third. Or, what it's more useful to do, is hit one enemy, and then use that to dash to another enemy a bit further away, and then follow up with a third, or just go off in whatever direction you need to go. It's great mobility. So if you need to get somewhere fast, and there's a chain of enemies in the way, you can use that to your advantage. And while you're dashing, I don't know if you're actually invincible, but you are nearly impossible to hit, because it's like an instantaneous there. Really powerful. Really good. Actually, no, you are invincible while doing it, because I just remembered. Something I'll explain in a minute. But Blinding Assault is infinitely superior to Focus Assault. Focus Assault is pretty much the same, except it does more damage, and it exposes enemies. Gas. Exposes enemies a second after you hit them. So you may think, well, why wouldn't I use Focus Assault? Because you don't get that chain. It is one longer strike that, granted, takes you further distance than the first use of blinding. But altogether, Focus is just worse. Blinding Assault is a lot better because it gives you these bigger windows of invincibility, and it allows you more direction in your movement. You can go back and forth through enemies. While with Focus, it's just straight through. If you're going to play Mercenary, you got to move around a lot. You got to be very erratic. Make sure that enemies can't get you pinned down. And with this, sometimes it's better to go DPS over DPH. Damage per second over damage per hit. Focus Assault is a bigger single strike, and you'd think I would prefer that given I used Rising Thunder, but I'm definitely going to say Blinding Assault for one reason, and this is, there's 2 reasons. One is personal, one is objective. The objective reason is that, like I said, it grants you greater mobility. The personal reason comes to my pick for special. You have Eviscerate and Slicing Winds. Both of these are really good, and once again, this comes down to personal preference. I use Slicing Winds. You can go fuck yourself. Eviscerate, you dash forward and get just a bunch of hits off on an enemy. It doesn't say exactly how much, like how many times you hit them. It deals 110% damage repeatedly. I couldn't tell you how many times you hit them. I do know if it's a single target, it's a fair amount of damage. But if it's a group of enemies all clustered together, you'll jump between them and deal very little damage to a lot of them. The real power of this is that you can't be hit for the duration. While you're attacking it using Eviscerate, you're invincible. Which sounds great, but you are invincible while you are attacking. Meaning the faster you attack, the faster your attack speed, the shorter it lasts. So if you get a bunch of Soldier Syringes, Primordial Instinct, stuff like that, you just... and you're done. It lasts barely any time at all. Yeah, you get a lot of damage out quickly, but you don't have that window of invulnerability, which it's really useful for. Personally, I prefer Slicing Winds. It does a lot more damage and exposes enemies, which is great. Because what I like to do, and I might get a chance to show this off, is say you're fighting the Wandering Vagrant, and it does its big explosion attack. And what you do then, sorry, I gotta check something. What you do then is while it's charging it up, you wait until the very last second and then dash into it. If you time it right, which is really hard to do, by the way, if you time it right, you don't get hit. And the same works for a lot of other really big attacks like that. So, it's very high risk, high reward. Though personally, if you're new to playing Mercenary, even if you somehow manage to get Slicing Winds through a very difficult achievement, I'd say stay with Eviscerate until you really know what you're doing. But if you know what you are doing, Slicing Winds is more useful, in my humble opinion. And of course, then you got the skin. I unlocked it. I earned it. I'm going to wear it. Yeah, quickly. Because I have all the achievements for this game. See? So, I can't remember which ones unlock which. Here, Ethereal. Complete a prismatic trial without taking any damage. Yeah, that was a pain in the ass. I just remember. Oh, God. This one's not that hard. Don't touch the ground for 30 seconds. It's really fucking easy if you know what you're doing. This one isn't that hard either. So. Yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, explanation on how Mercenary works, I'm going to explain a bit more about how to play him and how to utilize his skills effectively on Monsoon difficulty. Let's just get right to it. Firstly, we're going to turn the music back on. I said before, I listen to my own music while playing this game, because I'm just not a big fan of the soundtrack. No offense, Chris Christodoulou. You make good music, but it is not fitting for this game. So again, you want to balance your skill usage. You don't want to dump everything out. Even in a big horde, you want to be very tactical with how you use it. You want to make sure you're not caught without any of your good life-saving abilities at any given moment when you might need them. Which is why you want to focus on the attacks that expose enemies. Now that I couldn't demonstrate because they died. But yeah, that's useful. But see here, I wanted to dash into him, but I couldn't. I'll use Blinding Assault to stun him so he can't charge up his laser. Slicing Winds on him so I don't have to bother. Hit them both, bam. And look at that, I have all my stuff off of cooldown. Now that's a small example, considering, you know, it was like, what, 3 enemies total? A Golem, a Gecko, and a Gamask. But trust me, knowing how to do it is required to get, you know, higher stages and higher levels. So if you can't do it at this level, you're not going to be able to do it at those levels. Most enemies, you aren't going to need to dump your whole skill repertoire on. It's all about knowing when to use them. That is the kind of mobility you lose with not blinding assault, focused assault. Oh man, just short. Now, I'm sure some people are expecting me to talk about what items you want to focus on getting, but the thing is, very rarely do you have a choice in what to get. For this one right here, obviously I'm going to say the Focus Crystal. Because dealing more damage to nearby enemies is obviously a good choice when you're playing a melee character. It's going to be very rare that you're dealing damage to an enemy that isn't close to you. So before, I could one-shot these guys with Rising Assault. Now I still can, but I can still just shoot through them really quickly. So I can save my Rising Assault for if I need, say, a third jump. Ooh, hello. Now, there's some advice I can give that I think would just be universally good to know. For example, say you're fighting a large group of mobs, or monsters, or whatever you want to call them. Obviously, you want to focus on the elite ones first. You know, that should go without saying. But there are some elite enemies you'd want to focus first out of a group of elite enemies that I will talk about once we start seeing those elites. Yeah, see, now I can one-shot them by passing through with Blinding Assault. Focus Crystal. But yes, I'd say when it comes to items you want to focus on, speaking very broad terms, your best friends are going to be speed, like movement speed and attack speed, and healing. Because no matter how well you play, no matter how careful you are, you're going to get hit eventually. Well, it's always best to try and avoid taking damage than it is to try and heal damage. You're not going to avoid taking damage. You will eventually. So if you dump all of your focus into being, you know, a glass cannon, that's great until some elite wisp catches you lacking. Now, the Tri-Tip Dagger is definitely a good item to get on any character that is damage per second focus. Mercenary is obviously, you know, he's makes a lot of attacks very quickly. He's damage per second, without a doubt. So, Bleed is even more effective on him than it would be on, say, Rex. Well, no, maybe not Rex, but something like Captain or Acrid. Or Loader. Those are all characters that primarily focus on having slow, big hits. So Bleed will often wear off. But with Mercenary, no such worries. How's that? Flashbang, definitely want to get a flashbang. Stun grenades are great on any character. Doesn't matter what you play. They're great items. You should pick them up every time. I think that's about everything. There's a barrel over there, but who cares? Alright, so first boss. Let's see if I can put my mind where my mouth is with the Wandering Vagrant. I do not. Oh well. Oh boy. Spawned up here all on your lonesome, huh? Narrowly dodged that. Alright, so get back to what I said about risk assessment. Yeah, and a big group of enemies focus the elite. most of the time. I guess if I were to get a definitive list of threat level, bosses would be at the top, then large enemies, then small enemies. And then it would be, you know, elites, and then regular. And those are both different categories. I'd say boss ranks higher than an elite small enemy. But an elite large enemy would probably be more dangerous than the boss. So fighting a beetle queen and you know, a overloading beetle, I'm gonna get the beetle queen. But if it were to summon an elite beetle guard, I'd want to focus that first. And there we go. First stage done. Only took 9 minutes, 8.5. If you want a guide on just how to play on Monsoon on any character, don't spend so long on each stage. I spend so long on each stage because I'm an idiot. I don't recommend doing what I do. Not here. Now, I do, you know, stand by. I think you should try to focus on simply playing the game and enjoying it. But if you're looking for a guide on how to play a character on Monsoon, then I think you want to just focus on playing effectively. And in that case, yeah, maybe hurry up. Your best bet, I would find, is do like a single lap around the stage. Just kill whatever gets in the way. Don't, like, go back for anything. And, you know, find the teleporter. You know, buy anything along the way that you find. And if there's anything around the teleporter, you can leave that while you do the teleporter. And then get those up before you leave. However, I know better. That's a great way to play if you want to rush straight for the obelisk and obliterate. If you want to go fight Mithrix, don't do that. Because if you're going to fight Mithrix, you need all the items you can get. Don't worry about the level. He's going to be a pain in the ass no matter what. You'd rather fight a pain in the ass fully equipped than fight a pain in the ass under-equipped. You're not supposed to walk out of the attack, jackass. Sorry, they went off script. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do something. Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you're gonna go fight Mithrix, don't worry about the timer. Just make sure you aren't passing up on anything you might need. Like I said, he's a pain in the ass all the time. So if you're gonna fight a boss that is a huge pain in the ass, do it. Yeah, come prepared to do it. Ooh, yes, Primordial Cube. Definitely one of the better equipments for Mercenary. Now, there are some equipment that anyone could use, and it would complement their build perfectly fine. But the Primordial Cube is especially good for Mercenary and other melee characters. Simply because, you know, having all your enemies close at hand. Makes it easy. And that's why I take Slicing Winds. To have a ranged attack. Because, you know, it's all well and good being a samurai and having, you know, really good melee skills. But, you know, who would win a fight, a samurai or a gun? Well, I guess the question would be a samurai or a samurai with a gun. Nope. I have a stun grenade. I have 2 stun grenades. I'm gonna get a sticky bomb. Again, with DPS, you're gonna have a lot of different attacks. A lot of chances for it to proc. And more tougher times. Even tougher times. Whatever. Ow. Fuck you. War Banner. War Banner is a good item. I recommend picking it up on every character. It's just useful to have at hand. That's just about everything. It's a good thing this planet has low gravity. Look at how high I can jump, Jesus. Now, I think item tier lists for this game are stupid. I'm gonna say that right now, before anyone says, like, oh, well, you know, this guy says that this item's better than that one. And it's like, well, yeah, but this, you know, when you're playing a roguelike, right? Everyone's run is gonna end up differently. You'll fight different enemies at different times, you'll pick up different items, you'll find different shrines that offer different experiences. Everyone's run is different. It's nearly impossible you'll get 2 runs exactly the same. So what might be good on one run might not be so good on another, or might not be possible on another. You know, of course, all the red items are going to rank higher than all the white items, but are you going to get all these red items every single run? Are you going to get a single red item every single run? No. And sure, you could rank them by tier, you know, tier list for the white items, tier list for the green items, etc., etc. But even then, it really boils down to character. For example, the Cautious Slug is shit. It's a shit fucking item. Except on the Heretic. Since the Heretic takes damage all the time, their health is just constantly ticking down. Getting like 2 Cautious Slugs will counteract that. So, it's a fucking great item on Heretic. It's fucking A tier, maybe even S tier on Heretic. But only on Heretic. So if I say it's an F tier item, someone playing Heretic might think, oh, well, I guess I won't pick it up, and they'll be worse off for it. But even then, characters, you know, you can play characters differently. With different utilities, or different skills. You know, you could play your characters vastly different from one another. Just off, damn it. Hi there, you're not mine. So I think tier lists are stupid for this game. What? Me and my dev perception. Crowbar. It's a good item. I'm sure everyone's familiar with one-shotting Providence back in the first game. Whoa! Yeah, there's something Mercenary does. You can fling enemies with Blinding Assault. Another reason is you only ever pick Blinding Assault, not Frenzied Assault. I might teach a little more how to do that if we get Siren's Call. But it's not reliable. Oh, I hate you assholes. Fuck you. Oh, it's a big chest. Oh, I roll my eyes, but the stealth kit is, I'd say, pretty good. I like it. Let's see, what do we get this one? Armor-piercing rounds. These, I'm gonna say, you know, just if you see them in multi-shop, don't buy them. That's really all you can say when it comes to like item tiers. Like, oh, this one's better than this one. It's like, yeah, well, if you get it out of a chest, regardless of how good it is, you may as well pick it up. The only thing it applies to is multi-shop terminals. And for armor-piercing rounds, I'd say don't. Because, you know, what's the thing with armor-piercing rounds? You deal more damage to bosses. You know what else allows you to deal more damage to bosses? Anything that increases or does anything that increases your damage or deals damage on its own. You know, armor-piercing round, or crowbar, or soldier syringe, or gasoline, or ATG missile launcher, or sticky bomb, or tri-tip dagger. You know? It's not that much of an increase. Now, if armor-piercing rounds actually did what they said they did, and allowed your attacks to bypass armor on any character, any enemy, that would be fairly useful. Because these beetle guards have armor. Am I dealing more damage to them? I don't know. I don't think so. That's another thing. In the first game, most items gave an accurate description of what they did. This game, it gives sort of like a flavored text. Chance to stun on hit. Well, how high of a chance? What is the exact percentage chance I have to stun when I hit an enemy? And what are the... like, how does that increase? Okay, I'm losing some frames here. What's happening? I just noticed that. Playing Masquerade 2, the PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, that's on everything, not just the game. No, actually, I think it is just the game. That's weird. Or maybe it's just this stage, because it didn't seem to be doing that earlier. I genuinely don't know. This game's always given me trouble trying to record and or stream it. let's get out of here. I see the game's running well now. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so like I said, speed items are good for you. Well, speed items are good for everyone, because these are big maps, and having to just trudge along is oh, fuck. Speaking of infuriating, allow us to introduce ourselves as the Play Dude Treaders. Get down here. Oh god, maybe I should have just let that fucking thing knock me away. Yeah, so, you know, these enemies are cool. I'm gonna hide here for a second. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, they just got themselves back up to damn near full. That's fantastic. Well, thankfully, I don't really care. The bigger they are, the cooler they are to kill. I was confused for a sec as to why that enemy Beetle Guard got frozen, then I remembered. Oh wait. That's Jimothy. Ah, damn, Jimothy. Yeah, I love the razor wire, because they just have wisps kill themselves. Like that. It's great. How could I say no? Ooh, goody, 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 goody. My favorite. Hello. Maybe I can pull it off with you. I don't know. I've never had a good chance of actually managing to fling a vagrant. Oh, here, I can show you this. Ah, I fucked it up. Damn. Oh well. Nothing ventured. Jesus Christ! Okay, yeah, here's some advice for fighting these suckers. Stay behind them at all time. Never stand in front of an elite gecko. It's a fucking death sentence. Because an elite gecko will start breathing fire, and then you're back to the fucking character select screen. Don't risk it. So what I was saying about flinging enemies. Using Mercenary's Blinding Assault, hitting an airborne enemy, specific airborne enemies, I find it's mainly Greater Wisps and the Soulless Control units. And the Alloy Worship unit. You have a chance... I don't know if it's really luck-based or if there is some kind of skill to it. But basically, you have the ability to send them flying, which was demonstrated in the Why Mercenary is Best video, when I just kicked that fucking soccer ball into the wall over there. I can actually pull that off pretty reliably, but on other characters, not so much. So don't go summoning this boss trying to pull that off every time. It might not work. It's hard to get reliably. But I'll give it a shot, let's see. I find that your best bet is to try and get at the perfect distance, so where you connect with them right at the end of the dash. I've also found that, like, flicking my camera, like, right at the point of impact, in some way seems to help. But again, this is more of an art than a science. And he's, like, pressed up against the ground now, so even if I did fling him, he's not going anywhere. God, I fucking hate elite jellyfish. Oh! Cool! No, it's alright. I didn't need that health bar. What the fuck? Seriously? Seriously? I hate this thing because the lower its health gets, the more often it does that. Meaning if you can't keep the pressure on to finish it off, it won't give you any... Fuck you! It won't give you any respite. Yeah, there are probably like a million different variables to properly flinging enemies with Mercenary. I couldn't tell you them. All I know is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just gotta keep trying. More often than not, though, I'll spend so long running into him from a million different angles trying to fling him that I'll just end up killing him. Yeah, like, there! I just got it! I just managed to fling him. And he was already pretty low. What'd I get? Frost Relic! Normally, well, like 3 or 4 patches ago, I would have said, ah, god damn it. But nowadays, Frost Relic's actually pretty good. God, I wish I had some more speed, though. This is a big map, and it's going to take me an hour and a half to cross the whole damn thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for good items like that, but... Come on. There's an energy drink or two. That's all I need. Hell, I'd even take just, like, a single wax quail. Something, you know? Ugh. All I have is a single hoof. It's not doing much for me. Ow. I saw the red whip at the last second. Ah, of course. Ah, of course. It's only taking the items I want to keep. Ah, of course! I have 4 of those. I need to find a scrapper. Like, right now. Yeah, you go nuts, Jimothy. Trying to get him from a distance. Could have sworn I saw an item scrapper in here. No, maybe not. No, wait, there's one. Bet. If I can't move quickly, I can at least attack quickly. Wish I'd gotten that red whip now. That one. Here's something. Again, good item, but fuck, man. I'm gonna get 2 more of these, just in case I come across an energy printer. Or energy drink printer. That cleansing pool. I know I saw a lunar pod earlier in the run. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think it's mostly just speed. On flinging enemies? Yeah. Yeah, it's entirely speed. If you're going fast enough and you hit them from a distance, not close range, you just send the fuckers flying. Oh, hey. That cleansing pool. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up afterwards. I'm gonna take it to the cleansing pool, get food pearl. Because, you know, why not? Yeah, speed, man. Oop. Let's see, how quickly can the Frost Relic kill that on its own? That's not going to blow up and try and kill them. Very quickly, it turns out. Very quickly indeed. And come back to this cleansing pool. Throw this garbage away. Ooh! An irradiant pearl. Hell yeah! My lucky day. Alright. So yeah, getting back on topic. The keys to playing Mercenary are playing smart and playing fast. You want to be careful. Mercenary is very high risk, high reward, so if you want to mitigate that risk as much as possible. Damn it. Yeah, see, for example, fighting these fucking ass contraptions was a horrible idea. I should have just run away. And that's how you play Mercenary. Yeah, so I'm gonna say it probably for the millionth time. Tune down the fucking ass contraptions. These things are not fun. These things are fucking insane. They're fucking psychotically powerful. Like, let's see. That's from Brass Contraption. Yeah. The vast majority of my deaths are from Brass Contraptions. And Elder Geckos. You wanna know why that is? You wanna know why the Nemesis is a Brass Contraption? Is because they're designed as enemies that, you know, like enemies that you're not, you know, you gotta be very careful. In a 1v1, you want to avoid them. But the thing is, this is not a game where you'll be having 1v1s with enemies. What's gonna happen is they're gonna spawn behind you and one-shot you. Which happens to me 9 times out of 10. The other 1 time out of 10, I actually do get in a 1v1 against them, and they still hit me and one-shot me. Now, granted, that overloading one didn't one-shot me. I had full health, and then it hit me once and brought me down to about here, and then the thing went off and got me down to like 10 fucking health. And then you know what finished me off? The fucking Elder Gecko. So, fucking... just... these things are psychotic and I hate them. That's my final bit of advice. Don't fight ass contraptions. Just run away from them. Unless you can one-shot them, don't fight them. And especially not elite brass contraptions. Elite brass contraptions are more threatening than any boss monster in this game besides Mithrix. But Mithrix himself is specifically designed to kill your character. You know, he's not a final boss in a, you know, a grand test of your skill to make sure you're paying attention this whole time. He's a final boss in that he has shit tons of health, shit tons of damage, and shit tons of way to just close the gap. So yeah, the final boss of the game is less threatening than ass contraptions. Honestly, personally, they're the only thing I could remove from this game and think we wouldn't lose anything from it. These things are fucking shit, and I hate them. They suck. They suck. Really fucking badly. But, that out of the way, I do hope you all out there have learned something from this, gotten some kind of useful information out of it. If you guys actually think I sound like I know what I'm saying, then maybe I'll do another of these. I don't know.